everybody. This is Bo. We're back in the Sports Lounge. We're going to go all the way down to Hillsdale College. Coach Otterbein, how you doing, sir? Good morning.
Good, Bo. How are you doing?
Real good, man. We're having some nice weather finally. I know you all are, too.
Well, I spend a lot of time on the summertime on the golf course. In fact, headed there for an alumni golf outing later on today. So, this is the time where, as football coaches, we're either doing camps or relaxing and trying to regenerate our motors a little bit, and so we're in that fine balance. But this is a chance we can catch our breath and catch up with our families, and so hopefully myself and all of our peers and our staff are doing that this summer.
Yeah, it's always like a question we get from people. How do the coaches stay so fresh? And I go, well, a lot of them don't. A lot of them have to leave to get fresh.
It's tough, I'll tell you what. And especially I think more so at the Division I level, because it's really turned into, the spring recruiting. They get out there for 3 weeks and really, try to hustle and get around not only just, regionally, but all over the country, trying to get an opportunity to gather the names that they're going to work off of. And then, they take the next step and they go right from the spring recruiting and they go right into hosting a bunch of camps. The biggest and newest thing on the market, so to speak, is these one-day evaluation kind of combine tryout camps, and so they go from one to the next, and then probably some of them have some 7-on-7 camps, some of them have some team camps, some individual camps. So, I think that right about now, typically the month of July seems to tone back a little bit, and that is when even those guys at that level get a chance to go out. Most of the time, through the camp time in June, guys at our level are going around and maybe helping out at a Michigan or a Michigan State or, some of the MAC schools where our guys are there and help run the program, but also get an opportunity to be out and evaluate. But the camp business is very, very competitive.
Yeah, it just seems like you're evaluating these guys in one day plus their previous seasons. Now, the nice thing that you have is you are considered the Ivy League in the GLIAC by yourself. You've always been a challenging program. You always threaten every single year. Yes, some years are better than others, but for the type of athlete you grab hold of, is you really are going after the top notch. I mean, the type of kid that goes to your program is going to be one of those top character individuals that you don't have to babysit, and that's by design. And you've been successful where Dukes and a lot of other programs have not been.
Well, it's tough because the Dukes, and we typically will go against a lot of the Ivy League schools in recruiting. We'll typically go against the academies in recruiting, and then we just got to get lucky as to whether a kid wants to stay in the Midwest or does want to go far away from home or whatever they might want to do. So the kids we go after that are that great student, high character, good football players, everybody wants those guys. So, they're at a premium. So it becomes very competitive. And typically what happens is we got to, go between that borderline, Division I guy that just misses out, probably out of our top players over the history. They've been those great academic kids, great character kids, but they've been those kids that have just missed getting a Division I scholarship, and they end up turning out to be pretty good football players.
Yeah, because, it comes down, you look at the roster size on a D1, and those guys are dinosaurs. I mean, you walk in the locker room and you get a chance to shake their hands, 6'5", 390 pounds. They could eat me for lunch. I'm only 6'2" at 220, and I'm a chubby 220. These guys are just beasts.
Well, they're pretty good. Actually, we got one of those animals with us this year.
That's what I heard.
One of our captains that is probably going to be a draftable player for us. His name's Jared Valdir, and he's over from the west side of the state in the Grand Rapids area. And he's one of those guys, combine-wise. He's 6'7", 321 pounds. He hang cleans 425 pounds. He ran for the Scouts this spring, 4.87 in the 40-yard dash. So he's one of those freaks that is big and can run and can move. We're very excited about his leadership, and he's been a 4-year starter. Will be a 4-year starter as a second-year captain for us this year. and kind of the stabilizing force along with Phil Dorfler on our offensive line. So we're very excited about him, and of course we got Tom Cordy, who has the last couple of years been one of the premier linebackers in our league, and he spent all of June with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was signed as a free agent with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and had an opportunity to go there and do real well. He's got about a month off, and then at the end of July, he'll go back to camp and give it his best shot to make that squad. And then we've got Mark Nicolay up in Wisconsin. He's playing indoor football in Wisconsin, and actually one of our players went and saw him play Friday night, and Mark got into the game. He's not starting at this point, but maybe his performance of 2 touchdown passes and a 50-yard touchdown run will give him an opportunity. So, what we've been is we've been very fortunate to get great players like those guys that I just mentioned, but they're off the field stuff. This is a rigorous academic schedule, and they really have to. They, meaning any kid on our squad, has to really get after the the academic part of school, and they have to embrace that challenge. And those young men have done it, but they've been fortunate enough to be blessed with some good athletic skills and a passion for the game of football that has driven them to have an opportunity to continue their careers. Ultimately, all of those guys will be either great coaches or dentists or financial planners or something. They all know and keep in balance the perspective of what athletics is for them, and it's a great experience. I think it can teach them a lot of life lessons, but ultimately, these kind of kids understand it's time to move on with your life and go and be a contributor as a good community member, active, involved, good fathers, all of those things. That will be very, very positive additions to society.
Yeah, that was one thing that I meant to mention in the intro as far as the professional links to your program. And also, it seems like the D2 are now